ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this beautiful 2025 South Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade. Let's hear it. I'm your official MC, Matt Sullivan, Executive Director of LMC Media, and a proud committee member of this parade. Let's hear it, folks, for the Village of Mamaroneck Police Motorcycle Escort under the leadership of Chief Sandra DeRuza.
Okay, welcome to the 13th annual Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade, coming to you live from the, dare I say, sunny Village of Mamaroneck, where it's 80 degrees, a beautiful day for a St. Patrick's Day Parade. The Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade is coming to you live on LMC Media's Studio on the Avenue. Now, if you're watching out there online, or you want to know what TV network you can watch on, number 75 on Optimum, 36 on Verizon. My name's Michael Murphy, and here's my co-host, Norm Rosenblum. Former Mayor of Mamaroneck.
And welcome to friendly Village of Mamaroneck. We have two exciting things. We'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge LMC Media first. It's a cornerstone of the freedom that we have in this village and the very reason that we're celebrating this parade. Let me read real quick what it is. An exciting new program. It's called LMC Kids. Welcome to LMC Kids, where fun meets learning in the vibrant town and villages of Larchmont and Mamaroneck. Join our friendly puppets as they embark on exciting adventures to explore important life lessons and community values. Each episode, delightful mix of catchy songs, animations, real-life clips, making every lesson engaging and relatable to preschoolers, from understanding kindness and sharing, discovering local landmarks and community helpers. LMC Kids will inspire the little ones to connect. You can follow this up with lmcmedia.org/LMCkids and tune in and find Miguel Lulu Cassie, an exciting new program.
Thank you, Norman. We're going to get to the parade here for a second here.
Idea.
Okay, now the Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade represents the Sound Shore community from Portchester down to Pelham Manor. It represents Irish tradition, Irish heritage, and the American immigrant experience. This year, we're also honoring and focusing on the sacrifice and the service of our first responders, particularly those who've died in 9/11 and of the 9/11 related diseases, along with their families. So we're going to cut to this video right now. Thank you very much.
My dad was my hero. I wanted to do something to help people just like he did. A few years ago, he was diagnosed with cancer from doing search and recovery at Ground Zero in the aftermath of 9/11. I was holding his hand when he took his last breath. I didn't want to let him go. First Responders Children's Foundation gave me a scholarship that changed my life. I wanted my dad to be proud of me. I'm a nurse now.
Help first responders and their families.
We have the New Rochelle Police Motorcycle Unit and then the New York State Police Car Units.
And thank them all for their public service.
They all came out in support of the Grand Marshal. Very nice, huh? So, okay, yes. Now, this parade is coming to you live from Mamaroneck, New York. As we mentioned, this parade is actually twice the size of the parade last year. So we're in for a great St. Patrick's Day celebration here in the Village of Mamaroneck. Norman?
And it's a balmy, beautiful 70 degrees, probably 76 degrees. The warmest of all the parades we've had, which is a good indication that this is the best parade ever.
Okay, now up we have the American Legion Post 90 Color Guard.
The American Legion Post 90 was established in 1946. It's located directly across from the Veterans Memorial at the Village of Mamaroneck Municipal Building. Today's Color Guard members representing Mamaroneck Post 90 and the Sons of Post 90, with the assistance of Legion Post 347 in Larchmont, led by Commander Bill Goodenow. And I would say they also are community involved every year, especially with the Memorial Day Parade. Very significant in association to this parade.
This is certainly one of those days where people want to be watching the parade from Mamaroneck Avenue, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Okay, next up we have the Pipes and Drums of the Police Admiral Society of Westchester.
It was organized in 1973 by Yonkers Police Lieutenant Martin Harding and originally had 15 members. The band is now led by bandmaster Christopher Earl and with almost 60 active members, 90% of whom are active or retired police officers from Westchester County Police Department. PESW Pipes and Drums have been the lead band at every Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade since its inception, and we send a special thanks for their continued support.
And following them, we have the 2025 Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade committee members Kathy Anacarico, Patty Boyle, Gert Galen, Sharon Keck, Jenny Maroney, Joe Morrow, Tanya McMenamin, Katie Murphy, Bernadette Whittemore, and Troy Whittemore. These are great folks that are all responsible for, well, there's Jim Caloran there. He's a past Grand Marshal. Like I said, some of the Grand Marshals are in there. There's the O'Callahan brothers. There's Doc Kiernan, followed by, and there he is, right there, the man, the legend, the myth, and the heart and soul of the parade, Chris Murphy, driving his classic Chevy truck, which is always a sign in every parade. Here he comes, pulling over to the side, which becomes part of the grandstand, the official grandstand there. Hello, Chris, trying to find a parking space as usual and yelling at people. Good to have you here. Murphy Brothers are a big part of the parade every year, part since the beginning of the parade 13 years ago, and this is parade number 13.
The South Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade Marshal Moore Circle was founded in 2020 to give our past Grand Marshals a special way to support the parade's dual mission of promoting Irish heritage and American immigrant experience in the South Shore community, and providing college scholarships to local students.
So, as I was going to say, this year's parade will have a special division to honor our 9/11 first responders, including those who are ill or passed away from illnesses related to the work and the rescue and the recovery efforts in the aftermath of 9/11 terrorist attacks. So we're going on to this. First, we have the New Rochelle Police Honor Guard, followed by the Yonkers Firefighter Pipe and Drums, and there's our Grand Marshal right there, Matt McCauley, with his aides, Matthew J. So,
proudly leading the Mamaroneck Avenue today is this year's Grand Marshal Matthew J. McCauley. Matt grew up in the South Shore community, having lived in New Rochelle and attended school at Jefferson Isaac Young and New Rochelle High School. He was a volunteer firefighter in Pelham Manor while in high school, became an EMT shortly after graduation, a paramedic a year later, and then joined the NYPD at the age of 20. While a member of NYPD and still working as a paramedic in Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Larchmont, and Mamaroneck, busy guy, Matt attended and graduated from Iona College 1996, then attended and graduated Pace University Law School in 2001.
So of importance, Matt is wearing a special tartan and of great significance to the 9/11 and the first responder cause. The gray and the gold are for the police officer's badge. The horizontal black columns that cross the badge lines represent the mourning bands the officers wear over their badges when an officer dies. The royal blue represents the fallen officers and the living men and women who currently serve or are retired from law enforcement. There are 36 threads in each of the two black columns, which total 72, which is the number of police officers who died in 9/11. Those columns represent the two columns represent the twin towers of the World Trade Center. The thin blue line between them represents the line between order and chaos. Green is for the Irish community, which has contributed so many serving officers over the decades.
Matt also has continued his involvement and dedication to the 9/11 community. His entire legal practice is focused on obtaining benefits for 9/11 first responders and survivors. With his law firm, Turkin, Heath, and McCauley, Matt continues to answer the call to assist with the legislation that provides benefits to 9/11. Locally, Matt is the co-chair of the Westchester County September 11th First Responders Memorial that was unveiled in 2021 at the Rising at Kensico Dam. He is a member of the executive board of the First Responders Children's Foundation and a member of the board of 9/11 Responders Remembered Park in Smithtown, New York.
For all of you that are watching,
All right, we're going to ask for a moment of silence here in remembrance of those who have fallen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early early light, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, those bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Put your hands together for Miss Caitlin Hayes. Let's hear it for her. All right. Welcome everyone again to this beautiful.
Wow, that was quite a performance there. So, welcome to you're here listening to or watching the Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade, coming to you live from LMC Media, studio on the Avenue. So, parade is coming live in the village of Mamaroneck. It's a sunny day out there. The crowds are just streaming on the streets. I wish you were here. I'll bet you do too. So we got a couple of guests coming into the studio. Who's up first? All right, look at
Oh, terrific.
ladies and gentlemen,
Our first Grand Marshal.
our first Grand Marshal, Mr. Jim Kaloran.
It's a great honor to be
Good.
here, and it was 70 degrees the first day we did it, and it's 70 degrees today, and what a great day. Thank you to LMC, to Matt, to Dina, to all the producers, and to you two troublemakers. Up Sligo.
Yes,
Absolutely.
hey, you got that right. So you were the first Grand Marshal.
I
right?
was. I
Parade's
was.
growing since then in good ways,
Oh my
right?
God,
So-
it's amazing.
Yes.
Today is just, I think it's doubled in size.
But
And-
it's great to see you come out every year in support of the parade because you support Jim everything. So what's going on? You'll do a quick
Well,
shout out for what you're doing.
I think I'm going to, in memory of my great-granduncle, start a Patty Kaloran Sligo Scholarship today for the next year to be given out, and I'll be talking to you about how we're going to do that. I know Rosenblum might help with that too. You never know.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do here. We love to give back to the community.
And if anybody
This man
needs
gives
help,
a lot back.
anybody needs help on your home, we give out sandbags. We've done flood homes here. It's flood season. Be ready. Have a plan, and may it never flood again. And may we have a blessed day for 20
It's
more
hard
years
to
to
believe
come.
looking at Jim, but the man is a true angel.
No,
this
no.
man helps everybody. I can tell you, he was the first one in the floods in the village of Mamaroneck to build the homes, raise it up. He does it for first responders, for everyone, Long Island, everything else.
And LMC
You
came
are a
out with me.
godsend.
LMC came out to Hurricane Sandy with me. Murphy Brothers came out to Hurricane Sandy in the Rockaway. So what we learned here, we've done in Connecticut, we've done all over, and we're disaster experts. But we want to build some homes for all those kids that are out there. The crisis of not building homes instead of high rises, that's the heart of our mission. And we stay true to that. FullerCenterNY.org. Up Sligo, you guys look
All
great
right,
today.
Jim. All
And
right,
thank you, Dina, and all the team.
Enjoy the rest of the parade for you. Right. God bless you.
Every day.
All right. Every day. That's right. There's a man who's grateful to be alive. Okay. That's what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on LMC Media in studio on the Avenue in Mamaroneck, New York. It's 80 degrees out there and people are marching. Who do we have here? We got what marching band, Norman? Oh, we're trying to figure out. Oh, okay. You must be Mary. Nice to
Hi,
meet
Mary.
you. Okay, so Mary Fetchett is with us. She is with the Voices of Resilience. Mary, welcome to the Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Oh, thank you. I'm
So-
honored to be here.
All right, now you're here to honor and support Matt McCauley, who's done
Oh.
great things for the 9/11 victims and their families. Would you like to talk about your foundation?
Yes, my name's Mary Fetchett, and my son, 24-year-old son Brad, died on 9/11. He was in the second tower on the 89th floor. It was the second tower to be hit, but the first to collapse. He was the oldest of our 3 sons, and at the time I was a clinical social worker. And so my response was really to start a foundation that would provide support for the families, but also the witnesses, the responders, and the survivors, because there is a rippling effect after any of these tragedies. And I've worked with Matt McCauley for many years. Of course, he was a first responder, and now he is providing incredible support to those that were exposed to the toxins that day, not just that day, but in the months following the attacks. So we work very closely with Matt to provide support to the responders and survivors who are now suffering from very serious medical conditions as well as mental health conditions. There's about over 7,000 people that have died since 9/11, and then about 137,000 people in treatment for one or more medical conditions. And of course, depression, anxiety, and PTSD are in the top 10 conditions. But there's over 100 cancers that these people are suffering from. So, I can't think of a person that should be recognized as much as Matt. He dedicates, not just his legal advice, but he holds the hands of those people from the time, he connects with them. And, as he says, he's there for the long haul to help them through what can be a very challenging time, not just for the person, but for their family as well.
Mary, so the parade is a time to shine light on the Grand Marshal, but this Grand Marshal decided to shine light on you and your cause. And so we thank you. So thank you for being here with us. We want you to go out and enjoy the rest of the parade there, but how can people get in touch with your organization?
Yes, well we first started as Voices of September 11th, but around the time of the pandemic, we changed the name to Voices Center for Resilience. So they can go to our website, voicescenter.org, and we provide, clinical support groups. We have psychoeducational webinars, and then we do a lot of training to help communities prepare for or respond to other tragedies. So thank you so much for having me here today.
It's very important. I know very quickly, because I know you want to get out and watch the rest of the parade, but it's very important to note that recently kids born today have no idea about 9/11. It's like when we were in school and we started World War I, World War II. You have to keep it up in front to celebrate exactly what you do, and also put pressure on the federal government to continue the funds to allow you guys to do what you do. Thank you for your service.
Well, we don't receive federal funding.
Well.
We are a charity that, our events really raise the money to do the work. So thank you so much.
You.
They
Have
can.
a great time.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Have a good
All
day.
right, thank you very much. Back to the parade here. I see the Goons for Good are out there. That is Dave Chemansky. He's a Chamber of Commerce member in his Goon Father outfit there, followed by Classic Cars from the Kiwanis Club. Those guys were great in donating their time to bring their great cars that they've been so wonderfully preserving over the years. Mary was great. Wow. Okay.
Right.
So this is a time to remember, ladies and gentlemen. We don't forget the victims of 9/11 and their families, and the victims of those 9/11 related diseases. So we thank you, Matt McCauley, for bringing the light on that important issue right there. So what do we got next? I forgot to mention, I saw Congressman George Latimer, Senator Shelley Mayer, Senators Natalia Fernandez were out there, Westchester County Executive Ken Jenkins. So I think Steve Otis is out there someplace. Jane Eny from the town of Mamaroneck, she passed by, obviously big supporter of Matt and his causes. So we have, looks like who is this?
Well, also, while you're looking, Larchmont trustees Peter Bubba Finelli and Bridget Brennan, Portchester Mayor Luis Marino, Portchester trustee-elect Sylvia Dundon.
Sylvia Dundon, my good friend who just got elected trustee in Portchester.
Right.
And Joe Carvin, who's next year's Grand Marshal,
Absolutely, right.
The best kept unsecret in the world. Okay, so also, did you know that we have the Deputy Consul General of Ireland here?
Oh, really?
Came all the way from New York
That's
City.
great.
Just marched with the elected officials there. Gareth Hargadon.
Everybody wants to come to the Village of America in the Sound Shore Parade.
We have our Mamaroneck Chamber, our Mamaroneck Mayor, Sharon Torres, and our trustees, Lucas, Silver, and DeRose. Great to have you all here. So the kids look like they're having a great time out there. I think, Norman, we've actually got through the Honor Division and the Escort Division. We're on to the First Division. So if we can look at the side of one of those trucks, we can figure out where we are in this parade.
Well, it should be the Yonkers Police Honor Club.
Which, you know, they say is it's the longest parade we've ever had. At least it's twice as long as the last parade there. So
This has got to be the Yonkers Police Honor Club.
okay, good. I think it's that. Are you sure this isn't the Pipes and Drums of the Emerald Isle of New York City? I think it might be.
They come second. Yeah, right after them. Oh, they could have died.
This could be it. You
It's
got to see if they're
interesting.
carrying the Yonkers colors. If anybody knows what they are, please call them in. So, yes, you're coming live on LMC Media. This is Studio on the Avenue, which is where we are. We're in the comfort of the Avenue, the studio here. It's an award-winning studio. And Norman did mention there, as you're looking at it, you mentioned LMC's Kids, the show that's coming up there. With it's going to be a live-action show. And also, we have the Sound Shore Family Guide. We'll be talking about that here and there. Sound Shore Family Guide with your host. Okay, Elko Raven. So, all right.
This has to be the Emerald Society.
I think it is. So tell us about that, Norm.
Well, actually, it's led by Bandmaster Lieutenant Danny O'Grady and the Assistant Bandmaster Lieutenant Matthew Murphy. A lot of Murphys, Murphy. The group currently boasts 120 members who play Great Highland bagpipes or drums. They are an NYPD fraternal organization of Irish and Irish American police who formed the band in 1960 as a separate but linked portion of the Emerald Society. They are the first police pipe band to organize in the United States. Interestingly, the Emerald Society itself was started on March 16, 1953. A small group of policemen, Doris Burke, Lillian Riley, Mary Patterson, and Eileen Romanchek. Their grassroots efforts would eventually lead the NYPD to the first Emerald Society in America.
Norman, we got another guest here. Please introduce yourself.
I am Coach from 107.1 The Peak.
Oh my gosh, it's the coach.
Yes,
from
and
the Peak.
you have it. There's a very nice studio here. It's really cool and an awesome parade. I just wanted to jump on. I'm from Port Chester, born and raised. I love Mamaroneck. I come here all the time, and I'm just so happy about where I live here on the Sound Shore, and this is just such a great day I wanted to spend with you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Peak is it's the sound of the Sound Shore.
That's right. I like it. We might have to use that.
You can use that. So this is
with
actually
a big welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you. So this parade, this is the 13th annual parade. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of first responder activity going on there. So we've got quite a crew out there. So now tell us a little bit about your response in the community. You guys do a lot of support for the community, correct?
Yes, we do the best we can. I do the morning show, of course, every day with my co-host Yasmin, who is from Mamaroneck. She lives nearby. Right. She walked here, and we saw her kids back there. So, yeah, we always try to do things to support the local community, including local bands and artists, try to get them exposure, and just try to help advertise and promote some of the great events we have in this community too. So like this one.
That's great. You know, Coach said we look forward to going forward, like having a symbiotic relationship with 107.1 The Peak.
Absolutely.
My favorite station in Westchester County and beyond.
Thank you. That's right. Anywhere now.
Now you're going down to the harbor. You're going to be marching with the march.
I will be down at that harbor, hanging out and rocking out.
Great. Okay. Thank you for coming on.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you, man.
Thank you.
So, and please tell Yaz I said hello, and we'll see you down.
I will. All right.
He's got the voice for radio. I can see. They said I had the face for radio. But, all right, good to have you. Now, I think we have another guest coming on, Norman, as we see more first responders going by.
The Village of Mamaroneck Fire Department.
Yes.
One of the greatest as far as I'm concerned.
Amen,
Little Preachers,
volunteer
fire team.
Yes.
These guys 200 members.
So, now, I think we have another guest coming on here. You know, the number of elected officials come and go in the village, in the Westchester County. This is a guy that, even though he went, is still back again. The man that represents us, everyone in Westchester County, a good friend of the parade, This is our Congressman, George Latimer. This is the first time I'm able to introduce you as our Congressman.
Absolutely.
So in the past, it's been either, you've been the county executive for a number of years and you were our state senator, but now, congratulations, great back from Washington here.
Well,
I bet you're glad to be here.
I am. I'm Mike, Norm, I'm so happy to be home. I come home every weekend, and I enjoy being here. Larchmont, Mamaroneck, Rye, my core neighborhood that I've been hanging out for the last 30-some-odd years. But I also have to tell you that, I was looking at a date that I've got coming up where I'm going to update the Larchmont Village Board. Norm, you remember when I would do that when you were in the Mamaroneck Village Board. And it's 33 years since the first time I ever updated the Larchmont Village Board as a county legislator. So I guess the judgment is I can't seem to hold the job. I keep jumping from this job to that job. This is the last rodeo. And the national government is critical. What happens down there affects all of us.
Now, you're
Absolutely.
a big supporter of the first responders. I know that. And, of course, I know that you've backed Matt McCauley, our Grand Marshal, on a number of different things that he's doing. So, care to speak on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We were very fortunate to have Matt's experience, also Peter Woods of blessed memory, in doing the memorial at Kensico Dam Plaza. We did that, I think, about 2-3 years ago now, calendar years, in which we honor those who have lost their lives, who are responders at 9/11, and it had 9/11 related illnesses. So they didn't die, at the time of the event, but they died prematurely. So I've lived into my 71st year. These guys died at 53 and 49, and they left years of life on the table. Children that hadn't yet gone to college or gotten married.
3,000 orphans in the midst.
And they sacrificed all of that because they cared about their community. So we have that monument that you see the example of out here, and I know Mamaroneck Town now has done that. All of these communities are getting there, but we're proud to say we did it first, and it really is respect that they earned and deserved. And I think of the people here from this community: John Viteri, Brian Payne, who I knew very, very well, Dennis Tortorella. These are people I knew. I talked to them when we'd have the Firemen's Parade in July here, or when they had the inspection nights. So they're real people to me, not just names on a on a tombstone. And they did wonderful work, and we do ourselves service to honor them.
Well, speaking of wonderful work, you do wonderful work for us, and so we're delighted to have you here. We're grateful for your support for our parade for the last 13 years, and I know you'll be there for the next 13 years and beyond. So
I know that my great-grandfather, who was born in Enniskillen in County Fermanagh, would want to see his great-grandson be active in this parade.
I feel
That's
the same
good.
way. So.
Well, listen, we're honored that you're here because I will take credit for knowing where George Latimer is. I would say, are you the real George Latimer or are you a clone? The man is everywhere at every time. And I specifically remember very quickly when you first started as a trustee in the city of Rye. So that goes way back many years, and you dedicated yourself to public service, so thank you.
Thank you, Norm. The only thing I would tell you, if I could clone myself, I'd look like George Clooney, not like George Latimer.
Not George Latimer.
Fellas, thanks so much, and
All
you
right.
do a great job. Continue.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Take care.
we'll see you
Enjoy.
on the streets or at some other event.
Enjoy the rest of the parade.
Okay, Congressman George Latimer, our congressman, delighted to have you. You got our votes. Thank you for your support. So,
Yes,
Norman,
Caviz.
and there we are. Where are we in the parade? We have no
This is
idea.
Dance
So
Caviz.
this is
Thanks
great.
for
We have
being
Dance
lucky.
Caviz, so they must be on here someplace. We've gone by the Goons for Good. So, and this is Dance Caviz. We love Dance Caviz. Great supporters of the parade, great people within the community. So, what's that?
They can't be. I'm in the 4th Division.
Yes, here we are. Here's someplace. Still looking. Must have missed the School of Rock also. Dance Caviz doing their dances. So, think of all the people okay, the Village of Larchmont Fire
Thank you,
Department.
Dance Caviz.
Here we are, Dance Caviz. We have school, Girl Scout Troops 2056, and with the Scout Troop leader, Sarah Chang was here. We had the Chamber of Commerce from Mamaroneck, the great Chamber of Commerce from Mamaroneck. I'm the Chamber President, delighted to be, happy to be so. A great group of people, great business organization. Okay, and now we have the Mamaroneck Youth Hockey League. There they go in their hockey jerseys and their parents. Thank you for coming out and supporting the parade. After
And
that,
should also mention
Girl Scout Troop 1519 from Larchmont, Mamaroneck. Nice to have them and their parents out here supporting the parade. They didn't bring any cookies, did they? I don't see.
No.
Whatever happened to the days they'd bring boxes of cookies and they'd pass them out to people? Seems
get
like
you
we're missing
working.
it. So, and here they come. Now, you know who this is, Norm. This is the exciting X Factor Drumline coming. So far, but while we're waiting for them to show up, why don't I just mention the fact that we do have the Grand Marshal has a number of aides, that are here with him, along with besides his wife, Sabrina. They have their 3 children, Emma, Finnegan, and Declan, along with their additional aides, Terrence Opiola, Michael Liverizzini, Gene Kelly, Sue McCarty Payne, Chelsea Collins, Jean Louise Kelly, Richard Palmer, Jennifer McGovern, Barbara Opiola, Edward Opiola, Jack Opiola, Amelia Opiola, Nate Opiola, Richard Opiola. Every Opiola in the area has come to this parade, along with Catherine Hessian and Tom O'Connor. Welcome. We're glad that you're the aides this year.
Well, talking about the X-Drumline, they put a high-energy spin on show-style drumming made famous from the movie Drumline. This ensemble of school-age performers will have you tapping your feet, unable to resist the hip beats and groovy dance moves. With professionally choreographed dance sequences, thunderous vocal cheers, and elaborate stick tricks, the X Factor Drumline is guaranteed to turn any event into a party.
Norm, I like the way you say groovy dance moves. I think I'm going to incorporate that into my repertoire. Yes, you just give them a moment to do their groovy dance moves. For you that are watching at home, I want you to know that they're actually doing this performance for the Grand Marshal, who's on the grandstand right now.
It's also a great honor to have all these different groups and people not only honoring Irish heritage.
See, Norman, I'd throw out a hip if I had to do this. Great.
You can do that, can't you?
Yeah, really. I don't know about that. I think it might be the last thing I do for a while if I did that. Okay, another one of our great classic cars from the Kiwanis Classic Car Show, Classic Car Group. So, you know, while we're coming to you live on LMC Media's studio in the Avenue here, this is the 13th annual Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade. You met the first Grand Marshal, Jim Florin, earlier today. Matt McCauley is the 13th Grand Marshal as we celebrate Irish heritage, the American immigrant experience, and the service and the sacrifice of the first responders in our area, including the 9/11 victims and their families. So we'd like to thank some of our sponsors for this parade as we're watching the great X Factor here. The great parade, the parade underwriter for the sponsor is Turkin Heath and McCauley, LLP, which advocate serving the 9/11 community. Parade sponsors, get this, the FBI Agents Association, First Responders Children's Foundation, we saw that video earlier, Voices, Center for Resilience, and the great O'Callahan family, which we have 2 Grand Marshals from the past, 2 Grand Marshals, Chris and Tony, looking for another one, O'Callahan family out there. You saw the running of the Gingers possibly earlier today, a great tradition of the parade, and the sponsor of the running of the Gingers was Miller and Caggiano, LLP. So, who's it? Oh, it's the Orange Bank and Trust car. Look at that. This is already up to the 3rd Division, and who's coming out? It must be Marie Moreno and her husband, I think. Maybe it's just Marie, that's her husband. So you're coming into the parade. And following Marie is the classic engine number 1, the Larchmont Antique Fire Engine. Norman, what are they doing here?
Well, the Larchmont Historical Fire Company is a division of Larchmont Historical Society established in 2007 to promote the understanding and history of firefighting in Larchmont and to preserve Larchmont's historical firefighting traditions and artifacts. The company maintains Engine 1, a 1922 American LaFrance pumper that served Larchmont until 1948. Engine 1 has been restored to its factory specifications.
And you saw the Chiefs car, and who was driven by Ray Maldonado.
And Ray Maldonado is
guy for the community.
Is a fellow Elks person, and typical of the people of the South Shore who continue to donate and support as volunteers.
I think that car's being driven by that dog. That's crazy. Another muscle car from the Kiwanis Classic Car Collection. We're getting into the 4th Division right now. Norman, there's a total of 8 divisions, of which the first we have the Escort Division, the Honor Division, then we have 6 divisions. We're in Division 4 here. And new to the parade this year, we have the Oompameisters. Who are the Oompameisters?
Well, Oompameisters are from New Hampshire, believe it or not. That's how attractive this parade is to come. The German band is comprised of the Army National Guard musicians.
Sounding good, guys.
One of
Thank
them
you
is
for
playing a Swiss alp horn, an 11-foot long horn like the one seen in the Ricola commercials. I'm not going to say it sounded like.
Yes, I'm a fan of Ricola, aren't you? Anyways, that's the community resources coming up next. Love the community resource. Great people in the village of Mamaroneck. Glad to have them marching. One of their members, Marco Brocas, is a great member of the Chamber of Commerce board member. So great to have them in the parade this year. Marching, followed by the South Shore Lions Club. And Norman, tell us a little about the Lions Club.
La Trente and Mamaroneck and Ann Sullivan Lions are part of the Lions Club International, the largest service organization in the world, with over 1.6 million members. Currently celebrating their 101st anniversary, the Lions signature cause is blindness and eye health, the result of a presentation by Helen Keller back in the 1920s. Interesting. Also focusing on youth and world peace, the Lions host an annual peace poster contest for middle schoolers. Local winners compete with over 600,000 entries from around the world, and winning art announced at the United Nations.
We got a lot of parents and their kids from St. Gregory the Great School, which is fantastic. Nice to have Harrison represented in the parade this year. Okay, coming to you live from LMC's studio on the Avenue. LMC, or you might be watching this on Optimum or some other cable network, or you may be watching this in the future and you'll wonder why it was such a nice day. Well, it's because the Grand Marshal brought the good weather. Anyways, who do we have next year? We have Empress EMS,
who made a firm commitment to the development of emergency medical services and quality aftercare transportation in Westchester, Rockland, Ulster, Dutchess, Putnam, Sullivan, Orange counties, as well as the Bronx.
Great, and there's the Holy Brass Band. Following them. Great to have them here. They've been here last year. Fantastic.
Played thousands of openings, graduations, parades, and ceremonies of all kinds in more than 35 states since 1996. These events have been attended by Senator Chuck Schumer, Mark Stewart, Bill and Hillary Clinton, Mayor Bloomberg, and other VIPs.
Let's see if they have some groovy dance moves. Yes. All right.
Well, while we're going through, we should continue.
Well, here we are. It's on the reviewing stand sponsors.
Right. O'Donnell and Cullen Property Tax Consultants, Don Gowan and Sons, Kate and Ken Diallo.
Kate and Ken Diallo, first of all, Kate Diallo is past Grand Marshal. Could be here this year. Kate, if you're watching live, I want to say, Kate Milia Falcha, we love you. We'll see you next year at the 14th Annual Parade. You're the best. Thank you, Ken.
And following the Police Benevolent Association of New York State Troopers, Raphael Rye, Iona Rugby, which will be marching on the
Iona Rugby, how about that?
James O'Connor, and a hospitality tent, which everyone will join at the end.
Yes.
Empress EMS, 9/11 responders, Remember Park, retired and active emergency service members associated NYPD, Brotherhood of the Fallen, Friendly Sons of St. Patrick's, Tom Broderick Insurance, NYCD Emerald Society, Johnny Mack Foundation, Grand Council of United Emerald Societies, Kevin Plunkett.
I got to stop you there for a minute there. That's Tony and Naomi. Last couple of years, they've given us rides, Norm, back and forth there.
Thank God.
Great folks, always in the parade. That's a beautiful 57 Chevy there.
Classic.
Okay, now we have over here the Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department. Again, this is a volunteer unit. And there's Bob Galen right there. Bob, you waving to Bob there. Hi, Bob. How's it going? Anything about them? I know you're a big fan of the Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department.
Absolutely. Just like the Village of Mamaroneck.
I saw Bob just shaking hands with somebody over there, trying to get his picture.
So, Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department has been committed to preventing and minimizing the loss of life and property through the delivery of the highest quality, effective, efficient emergency fire and rescue services to the residents and business located in the Town of Mamaroneck. The Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department is a combination. This means they are comprised of volunteer and career firefighters, members of a diverse lot, 18 to 60 plus years old, both men and women, students, computer specialists, plumbers, lawyers, electricians, bankers, brokers, career firefighters, medics, police officers, and business owners. And on a personal note, I would note that I believe, hopefully, we will continue the full support for the Village of Mamaroneck and maintaining all volunteer fire department.
Imagine that, all volunteer in the village, part volunteer in the Town of Mamaroneck. It's amazing. Thank you, whether you're paid or you're volunteer, we thank you for your service. You know, Norman, right now I'd like to do a little shout out for the Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade. You know, this has begun as a community event in 2013 to promote and celebrate Irish heritage and the American immigrant experience in the Sound Shore community, and provide a meaningful, honorable, and festive occasion for family and friends, because this is a community event that represents the Sound Shore from Portchester down to Pelham Manor. Okay, even more important is that the parade organization is commitment to raise money for a scholarship fund. We started out with 2 scholarships. We're up to 3. We're up to 3. 2 for Irish heritage, 1 for the American immigrant experience, started by the Marshall Moore. We're adding 1 for first responders, children, and I believe Jim Cloran says we're going to add a 5th one. So this thing's growing year by year. It's kind of
Absolutely. We've
really
given out $65,000 in scholarships.
Amazing. So one of these Girl Scouts or Cub Scouts from Pac 4, the Cub Scouts from Pac 4, or Girl Scouts from 1840 and 29.95, they may be winners of the scholarship in the future.
Right.
So pay attention in school, kids. All right, so troop leaders, Jill Torres, Rosa Espinal, Molly Stunts, and Chris Colangelo are leaders of the Girl Scout troop.
Coming up is Harrison, another sister community. Led by John Masicola, is a combination department also consisting of volunteer officers and members of 10 career firefighters. The department was formed in 1894 by the residents of Harrison. These firefighters dedicate their time to protect the lives and property of Harrison residents and operate on the beliefs, knowledge, dedication, and tradition towards the community. This department is staffed 24 hours a day by its professional career personnel. They also provide emergency shelter to our residents should there be a disastrous situation, and fire prevention, education to school-age children. Both volunteer and career firefighters strive to provide skilled and courteous service to our community.
So we thank you for watching this broadcast either online or you're watching on Optimum Channel 75 or Verizon Channel 36. Thank you for watching this broadcast. Maybe you're watching in the future sometime because you want to see what the great 13th annual parade is all about. You know, this is usually a celebration of Irish heritage and the American immigrant experience. We're also honoring the first responders in our community along with the 9/11 victims and their families. Our Grand Marshal, Matt McCauley, is a great advocate for that cause. Matt is featured, he's highlighted today, but he decided to shed that light on our first responders. We'd like to thank him and also thank our sponsors, which are Turks and Heath and McCauley LLP, advocates serving the 9/11 community, along with the FBI Agents Association, First Responders, Children's Foundation, Voices, Center for Resilience, and of course, the wonderful Callahan family of Rye, Portchester, Harrison, every place else. Thank you all. Okay, we'll get back to our other sponsors here. Right now we have, who is this? We have this is Regina Maria's band, right?
Right. So under the direction of seasoned band leader, Mr. Steve Finkelstein, Maria Regina High School proudly debuted its marching band program for the 21-22 school year. Maria Regina High is the only all-girls Catholic high school in the New York metropolitan area to host a marching band.
And you probably saw a red Corvette you were salivating for. If you want that car, just talk to Peter Lividini from the Kiwanis Club Group. He coordinated all this, and thank you, Peter, for coordinating all the great Kiwanis cars out there. We'll see you at the Kiwanis Cars Show in September. First weekend of September after Labor Day. So great show. You ought to come out for that. LMC will be covering it.
I would be remiss also, while we're talking about volunteers and everything else, that this would not happen to be covered while you're watching without LMC Media. Also, you can go online and support them.
Norman, look, there's the survivors from Running of the Gingers. A lot of them probably passed out on the way because it is a long uphill run, but these are the survivors. You can tell from their shirts, you can tell from their natural and unnatural hair that they are the Gingers of our group there. Thank you guys for doing that. Who sponsored Running for the Gingers but Miller and Caggiano? Thank you very much for your support. I hope you're watching the parade or you're marching in this parade. There's a great party afterwards down at the harbor if you're marching. If you're not, march next year. You can be in that. You can be down there at the hospitality. Ted, enjoying a beverage and listening to the great music of School of Rock, a great sponsor of the parade themselves. Love the School of Rock. One of the owners is she's a committee member. That's Vanessa Ritter. Vanessa, if you're listening to this, you're probably not. Maybe next time you hear this, we thank you for your service to the parade committee, for all you do. So who's up next? Now this is the Ice Cold Performing Arts Drumline. Wow.
Yeah. The mission of the Ice Cold I.C.E. Cold Experience to provide a unique and enriching educational experience in the performing arts in which members develop as pillars of society. The letters in the name stand for intelligent, creative entities, which has become their mantra. The band actively is a distinctive and competitive art form that combines musical, visual, and athletic elements. We value and teach teamwork, dedication, excellence, and performance. We represent and serve our community with pride and distinction and are faithful stewards of the long-lasting traditions of entertainment, excellence, innovation, and all that the finest. Could not have said better.
Actually, and also, you forgot to add groovy dance moves, because you got to say, those are some groovy dance moves. So,
well, I also add, it's nice to be young.
Oh, come on, maybe next year they'll have us out there marching with the Ice Cold Performing Arts Drumline. Thank you for your support for the parade there. Following them, we've got the New Rochelle High School Irish Club coming behind.
Following the ice.
It's a hard act to follow, wouldn't you say? Well, there are 2 members of the Irish Club in the New Rochelle High School. At least it's a good start. You got to start with 2, and you grow it from there. Maybe those 2 are behind them are their parents. God bless them.
Certainly dedicated.
Okay. Right.
And then we have somebody selling stuff.
Yes, well, get them on a photo there. Move it on. Okay, and we're moving on to the Purchase Fire Department.
Purchase in New Rochelle. Oh, that was the Irish Club. Yeah, led by Chief Sam Bornstein and Captain Aaron Bush.
This isn't Purchase. That's another band. Who knows what? We've got a new band in there. God bless. Where'd they come from? I think this is the Long Beach Seaside Marching Band. Oh, a little bit out of order, but that's okay. We'll take them any way we can get them. So. Playing a great Irish song. Fantastic. For those of you that want to take cymbal lessons, this is it right here.
You know, the great part, Michael, is I can't help but think in close to Friendly Village, which is close to the entire Sound Shore, and obviously people from New Hampshire and Long Island, Staten Island, all over the place. When it's such a refreshing change from watching the news and reading the newspaper, where people from all parts of life and celebrating the immigrant experience come to the village and join together and enjoying the best attributes of our society. Friendly United States.
Oh, I forgot. I should mention to the audience that you were mayor when the parade started back in 2012, 2013. 2012, I thought it was 2012. Although I saw Jim Cloran had a 2013 sash on. Here we have the.
Well, that's because he forgot to bring his.
Nah, he's borrowing somebody's. That's typical Jim. Anyways, Mamaroneck EMS. Here they are. Take it away, Norm. Another is a volunteer organization.
EMS is another, actually combined now. Started many years ago with collecting stamps, believe it or not, at the gas station from John Quadrini. They are so fantastic that they offer emergency, which I've used myself, unfortunately, or fortunately. They give another service, like the volunteer fire department, not only in the village of Mamaroneck, but surrounding communities. Another blessing in the friendly village of Mamaroneck. And reinforcing again the constant concept of volunteering in the village of Mamaroneck. This country started by volunteers with the Revolutionary War. So thank God it's continuing. And while that is enhanced by the Irish heritage, and that's why we do it. Everybody's Irish on this day.
That's true. Everybody's Irish on this day. Even the whatever band this is. Maybe we can figure it out by looking at the uniform. Okay, well, while we're figuring out what, look at that guy's got some groovy dance moves there. So we're figuring that out. We're going to mention some of our sponsors: Empress EMS, 9/11 Responders Remembered Park Inc., Retired and Active Emergency Service Members and Association of NYPD, Brotherhood for the Fallen Inc., Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, Great Dinner, Tom Broderick Insurance, NYCD Emerald Society, Johnny Mack Foundation, the Grand Council of United Emerald Societies, Kevin Plunkett, a great Grand Marshal from, I think, parade number 4, New York State Police Investigators Association, wonderful group, Barney Ferguson Foundation, Brooklyn Bagels and Coffee, wait a minute, Brooklyn Bagels, great Chamber of Commerce member. Pete, if you're listening, shout out for you. J&F Auto Bodies, thank you very much for your support for the parade, all of you. So we know which parade this is? Or, I mean, what parade? I know what parade this is. How about, do we know which band this is? Is it the Tappan Zee Bridgemen? We have a little, we're trying to figure out which parade is which. Could be the Tappan Zee Bridgemen, yes. Of course, they're dressed like the Tappan Zee Bridge, you can tell. Of course, they would call themselves the Mario M. Como Bridge men, I guess, but these guys must be old timers.
Okay, very quickly, we will talk about, again, check into LMC Media and for LMC Kids and the South Shore Family Shore Guide. And Michael, it's a pleasure. Another
Well, we're not
success.
over yet, Norm. We got a lot to read here before we get out of here. All right. So
we read.
No, it's you know, first of all, we have not mentioned that the big sponsor for the parade broadcast itself is Orange Bank and Trust.
Absolutely.
So, Orange Bank and Trust,
in.
we thank you for sponsoring the parade broadcast. Norman and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Maybe that's a reason not to pay next year, but this year you did. We thank you for sponsoring this event. So, so here we are at LMC Media presenting the 13th annual Sound Shore St. Patrick's Day Parade. So.
And not only that, while we're sitting here and we're waiting, my favorite kids from next door.
Okay, that was a heck of a parade there. I think it's just finishing up. People will be going down to the harbor. We'd like to thank you all for joining us for today's broadcast. My name is Michael Murphy. This is Norman Rosenblum. We've been here for many years bringing you this parade via LMC Media, and we thank you for being here this year. Remember, the parade represents the Sound Shore community from Portchester down to Pelham. It's a celebration of Irish heritage and the American immigrant experience. But this year, we're also honoring the sacrifice and the service of our first responders in our area and the 9/11 victims and their family. We need to remember. We're asking you to do the same. So thank you for joining us. Norm, last words?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for everyone watching and come. And as the future, I'm looking over here in the studio. Our future, my neighbors next door, Max and James. They are representing exactly what we're looking for. Remember about 9/11, the people that made the final sacrifices, the ultimate sacrifice, I should say. And remember what it is.
Thank you, the Sound Shore community. Thank you, LMC Media. Thank you, Mamaroneck Village. We couldn't do this parade without you. See you next year.